Hello and welcome everybody. We have the Global Lab patch notes for November 14th. Let's get right into it. We have Justin Bartali's homecoming. So we did have a mention that Emma is the daughter of Justin Bartali, Igor Bartali's son and Emma's father, and he will be returning with a adventure log. Before proceeding with the adventure log, please complete the quest chain started with the quest Justin's Adventure, the Prodigal Son Who Left Home, via the Black Spirit, available for your character level 60 or higher. If you proceed with the related consecutive quest, you can then proceed with the quest Adventure Journal, Justin Bartali's Adventure Journal, and after that, the Adventure Journal will be opened in the Adventure Journal bookshelf. Upon completing each chapter in the adventure log, you will receive the following rewards: 3 loot scrolls, a title, 3 Florin books, another title, another loot scroll, 2 titles with a Florin in between again. So very much a mix of loot scroll, titles, and Florin books, with at the end 2 sealed books, one for life, one for combat, 300 cronstones, and a final title. And I'm not sure if this is another title or Justin Bartali's warranty. This could be an item, but we'll see the details about that. The second big thing, obviously, Blue Battlefield is around the corner. It has now been officially pushed now with the with the reminder of the Black Desert Global Lab from July 25th. So pretty much we have more details now. Blue Battlefield is obviously a PvP content between guilds using ships. It is the content where you occupy and defend a fortress based on each island in the Black Desert world and work together with your guild members to achieve victory. Capture the fortress created on the blue battlefield and sink the opposing guild's heavy ships and galleys to defend them. The main rewards: guild tax, a minimum of 2 billion to maximum of 4 billion silver, a loot box which goes up to 5,000 crow coins, Okila's Origin Stone, Deep Sea Stone Box, 5 kg gold bars, and more, and a family buff of 75 life skill mastery, 40% life XP, and 30% sailor XP. But we'll get more details on this in a second. Overall, how to apply: Sunday to Friday, excluding Saturday, you have the standard node war time. You need to be on Odalita 1. Applications can be made up to an hour before the start time on the day, and adventurers who is a guild leader or has the authority to apply for participation in a stronghold battle via the Node War menu will apply to the blue battlefield button in Balenos Waters. On the day of the Node War, confirm the participating guild 15 minutes before start, and guild members participating can then click the yes, as pretty much any Node War. To participate, you must have a Stronghold War participation opportunity. It resets once every Monday. In the case of Blue Battlefield, the opportunity to participate in the Node War that was used when applying to participate in the Node War will be returned if the conditions below are met. The return conditions: if the total number of ships destroyed by the guild or alliance of the adventurer who participate in the Blue Battlefield is 10 or more, or if the fortress has been temporarily occupied at least once. The Blue Battlefield takes place on the Balenos Sea. Depending on the number of guilds participating, a Blue Battlefield fortress will be created on one of the islands below. So we have different stages. Stage 5 Citadel is on these islands. Some of these names might not be 100% accurate. I do recognize Marlene and Boremi, but we'll get the actual names guaranteed on the on the NAE release. Stage 4, also 5 islands, and Stage 3, 3 more islands. The blue battlefield will last from a minimum of 20 minutes to a maximum of 60, and the end time is set randomly. There's also a question mark stronghold where the end time is unknown. The rules for creating a fortress in the blue battlefield are the same as the Node War Node War type. So effectively, a randomly set among the end times below, minimum of 20, maximum of 60. When the blue battlefield begins, you can check the number of activated fortresses and the remaining times for the world map and the widget on the right side of the screen. In this state, the castle may be attacked by another guild and its durability may be depleted again. In this case, the guild that depletes all of its durability will temporarily occupy it. The blue battlefield citadel cannot inflict significant damage even when hit by a character, and takes significant damage from cannon attack ships, including the guild galley. So overall, you won't be able to use your character to go there and start hitting it. When the end time of an activated citadel arrives, the guild that was temporarily occupying it will finally occupy it. Only one fortress can finally be captured per day, and after the final capture, the guild's participation ends. Even if one of the guild is occupying multiple fortresses, only the fortress that is defended first until the final occupation time will be occupied, and the remaining fortresses will change to a neutral state again. Concerning the actual ships, we obviously have the guild galleys being mentioned, the guild Galleon improved version. Effectively, it can hold multiple guild members on it, and also have people in the bottom for the movement speed buff. You can increase your firepower against forts and ships by placing personnel on the cannons and firing directly. There is a mention that this ship is supposed to do extra damage to the citadel. Since each gun must be aimed and fired separately by each person, it is recommended to target the stationary citadel anyway. The Epheria Galleon, the big 7-day temporary ship, does get a mention as well. It cannot carry soldier, but it is a bit more tanky. While it is well armored, they can be vulnerable to concentrated fire from multiple Epheria galleons or carracks, so they do mention to just use it to try to sink other ships. The carracks as well are mentioned, obviously, since they are the most prominent. They do damage to the citadel, however, their main idea is to escort the guild galley. I do wonder if the damage was lowered enough against the building to actually make this reasonable. Otherwise, definitely try to concentrate on the ships. The Paddock, bit more tanky, is the design. It does more damage, effectively, to the guild galley. It is better at destroying the opposing guild galley, and you can perform the role of a new skill, which we'll see in a moment, which allows you to take risks by rotating in one spot and firing the port and starboard cannons alternatively. You can use other ships, but I do expect these to get sunk pretty damn quickly, so I'm not even sure if this is going to be worth it. Okila's guidance will not be applied on the server while it is in progress, so effectively the sailing speeds won't be applied. Also, your speed, acceleration, turn, and braking will also be reduced by 30%. However, the final ability of the Epheria Heavy Sailboat Emergency, which specializes in movement, will be reduced by 15%. During the Blue Battlefield server and time, even if a ship is destroyed or remotely recovered, crew members will not experience hunger reduction or illness. However, any damage to trade goods will still be done. Ship repair function, including repairs to the First Mate and Mount Resurrection items, cannot be used on the server during the time, and you cannot construct auxiliary buildings near the castle or within the Blue Battlefield, and you cannot install siege weapons either. The new skill for the Panok, which just got mentioned, is effectively this 180-degree turn, shift A plus D, it uses 5,000 food. Then we have some further guild skills being released. So effectively, 4 new guild skills. We have the Protection of the Blue Sea, instantly repairs guild members' ship durability by 15%, cooldown time of 60 minutes, so one-time use. Number of blood oaths required is 500. Then we have the Fast Route, guild membership movement speed increased by 30%, effect duration 5 minutes, 15-minute cooldown is for 200. Ship Detection displays the location of all enemy ships within the blue battlefield on the world map. This is a 5-minute duration with 350 cost with a 30-minute cooldown timer, so it can be used up to twice at most. And the Admiral Shout, plus 5,200 additional damage to ships boarded by guild members. And it does make the note applies to ships and castles only. I do expect this is not actually Trina battle axe damage, but from the guild galley or the carracks themselves. The duration is 5 minutes. It costs 200 pledges, 15-minute cooldown, so you can use it up to 4 times at most. Well, actually 3 times more likely. They do show off the ship detection wave. The location of enemy ships is displayed on the world map as shown here, so you can sort of see where the enemy ships are. 10 minutes before the start of the blue battlefield, the Come Together will appear in the upper right corner of the screen, as most people have come used to in Node Wars. When you click in this function, you will be moved to a randomly designated coordinate among the areas below. This is Velia, Ilia, or Lima Island. Caution, when a character moves using the Gather feature, any ships that are out will be remotely retrieved to the dock in the area where you are. Remote recovery does not decrease the crew's food or cause illness, but trade goods and trading items will be destroyed, so do make sure you don't have any barter items or trade items on the boat. If you do not have a ship ready, you can use the ferryman's boarding transfer function to transport the ship you're going to be using. Additionally, if a guild ship is out when the blue battlefield begins, it will be remotely retrieved. So if you wish to use a guild ship, it is recommended that you leave it at the guild dock. Blue battlefield convenience improvements. If your ship is destroyed while participating in the blue battlefield, you can revive at one of the 3 docks below through the dedicated resurrection UI that appears on the screen. This is for Velia, Ilia, and Lima again. In the blue battlefield, the name displays of other adventurers will be changed to be visible from a greater distance. Accordingly, you can check the information of other adventurers, both allies and enemies, on board the ship at a closer distance. You can also use the guild color designation function to more easily recognize information about adventurers from other guilds or alliances. You can access this function through the icon located in the guild information tab. Blue battlefield participation and victory rewards, what some people have definitely been waiting for. Depending on the stage of the fortress you successfully conquer, you will receive the following base tax as guild funds. Guild funds are used by guild members' allowances, we all know that. So stage 5, you will get a minimum of 3 billion to a maximum of 4 billion silver coins. In the case of stage 4, 2.5 to 3.5. And in the case of stage 3, a minimum of 2 to maximum 3 billion. Guilds that win or engage in fierce battles on the blue battlefield will also receive the following clan buffs that last for 48 hours. So the conditions for obtaining the victory buff: when participating, you need to occupy a fortress, and it is given to all guild members of the winning guild or alliance. Conditions for obtaining the participation buff: when participating and failing to capture the final fortress, if the guild captures a temporary fortress at least once, or the total number of times friendly/enemy ships are destroyed is 10 or more, it is awarded to the guild members who participated. So in the case of the victory, as mentioned, we have 75 mastery, 40% life XP, and 30% sailor XP. In the case of participation, it is still fairly okay with a 50 mastery, 30% life XP, and 20% sailor XP. So overall, the XP loss, only 10% on both the sailor and the life. 25 mastery is also not too bad, definitely worthwhile. The family buff effects also, the family buff effects of the blue battlefield and node wards are not applied together, however, and are updated with the most recent. So if you do have the node war buff, I don't think you'll be participating in this because it is a little bit less than the uncapped node war. Then we also have some personal rewards. So the personal rewards will be awarded to guild members who win by finally capturing the fortress or who fiercely participated. So we have the victory rewards for stage 5, 4, 3, and the participation. So same as starting with stage 5, we get 5 blue wave loot chests, 5 deep sea stone chests, some 5 1 kg gold bars, and some honorable battlefield tokens. Pretty much the same thing for the others, just less. In the case of participation, we get 1 blue wave loot box, 3 gold bars of the honorable battlefield, 1 kg, and also some, depending on these steps, 3 to 5 small adjustments. If you win by occupying the question mark stronghold, you will receive an additional 2 blue wave loot boxes. Excuse me. We also get told what's inside the blue wave loot box or blue battlefield loot box. So pretty much up to 5,000 crow coins, an Aquila origin stone, 3,000, 1,000 crow coins, gold box, Manos accessories from base to duo, 500, 300 crow coins, 20 memory fragments, and 5 black stones, concentrated black stones. The Aquila origin stone that is also mentioned up here effectively can be used with the Magoria sea stone and Rusalka to make Magoria ore and Rusalka ore. That is a bit of a surprise on this simple alchemy. Kind of curious what the Magoria or Rusalka ore is, or if it's just the broken down version. Would be a little bit surprising, or if it's just the turning it back into a base so you can re-roll it. At least that's what I expect it to be. The Deep Sea Stone box. This is a box of sea stones believed to have washed up from the deep sea. Effectively, you get Origin of Magoria, Origin of Rusalka, Magoria ores or Rusalka ores. Actually, that pretty much confirms it. It's the unopened crystal, so effectively the Okila's Origin Stone allows you to reroll. Additional rewards will also be given to the adventurer with the highest contribution among the adventurers of the guild that won the battlefield. You get another 1,000 Crow Coins, and you have 3 titles available: Naval Battle Hero, Fleet Commander, and Naval Weapon. However, these are sadly only 7-day titles. So that is a little bit of a letdown, which is destroying 10, 25, or 50 ships. Then we have some class modifications and changes. In the case of Warrior, when using the Greatsword Barrier skill, the Greatsword Training skill will no longer be activated first when using Grave Digging by pressing Shift left click. Accordingly, when you use Grave Digging while using the Greatsword Barrier skill, the defense judgment of each skill is continued. In this situation, you can activate the Greatsword Training skill by left clicking without pressing the Shift key. In the case of Sorg, the issue with the Flow Dark Scream skill would activate when pressing Shift Space after the summon entity disappeared. After using Dark Blade has also been alleviated. In the case of Ranger, we have a fixed, where the Seed of Nature effect was not applied when using Thrill of Nature skill. Ranger Black Spirit skill, the demonstration video for the Wind Gathering skill has been modified to display the same motion as in-game. In the case of Zerker, the height at which fall failure animation appears when using the Giant Rock technique has been reduced. Then we have another one. They fixed an issue where the player would switch to Battle Axe mode when performing a falling motion while using evasive movement or shaking skills in the Iron Gauntlet. Archer, they fixed an issue where the Earth-Splitting Arrow skill was used when using the Blossoming Sal skill after using Opportunity Seizing skill that was on cooldown. Then they fixed an issue with Skill Chain that was slower when using Sylvia's Spear after using the Opportunity Seizing skill that was on cooldown again. In the case of Lan, after the change in the behavior of the Chain Wheel technique, the Descent skill was modified to activate when right-clicking after hitting the Chain Wheel skill. Nova, they fixed an issue where the Divine Power would intermittently recover even without hitting when using the Pulling Star. The issue where the Divine Power was occasionally restored in small amounts when hitting the Pull and Pull Morningstar 4 has been fixed. When using the Freezing Ring skill, the issue with the character's hit power, or HP, was not reflected in the effect of pulling in the opponents when hitting a monster has been fixed. Shy Goldfish? Okay, I guess that's for shy fishing. While fishing, the next action time has been improved to be the same as other classes, the act of reeling in a fish without using a fishing chair. They've also improved so that when moving while loading a matchlock gun, it can be immediately fired the same number of bullets as the loaded one, and the issue where the reloading of the matchlock gun would not be completed even if the gun was reloaded while sitting and fired while moving has also been fixed. Then we have another small thing about the Epheria Galleon. The Epheria star that gives you the Epheria Galleon has also been increased for the special barter by 5 times. And they added the ability to obtain the Epheria Galleon with a very low probability through exploration. Then another small change for items when strengthening 6 types of Manos tools, which is the Logging Axe, etc. A warning window will now appear if the enhancement probability increase value is too high. The icons for Alma's Breath and Narsion's Breath has also been changed from the old, just a little stone with a glow, into a sort of more crystalline structure. Also, when acquiring a Blackstone item imbued with time or time-filled Blackstones, it has been modified to be stored in the bag rather than the enhancement bag, but they do need to still be moved into the enhancement bag to actually use them to tap. So do make note of that. They will be moved back to the regular store inventory. Then Monster Zones during the Calamity 8, 9, 10 for, I believe that's Bamboo Legion. The battle has been improved so it resets only when you leave the battle area a certain number of times. And the attack power of the Rogue Warrior and Rogue Archer who raid wagons during trading has been reduced by 80 to 90% compared to before, so definitely a massive reduction on that. Among the main quests for the Belenos Breaker of Chains of Souls, the quest Let's Do Our Homework Together have been changed to no longer provide a reward for expanding the bag by 1 slot. And when completing the quest Let's Do Our Homework Together, the following quests can now be completed: Eileen's quest and the Wood for the Vigilantes. UI-wise, when enhancing equipment with insufficient maximum durability to proceed with the enhancement can no longer be placed in the slot. The layout of the guild skills below has been changed, so they've pretty much just move them to make sure that the blue battlefield skills are able to fit. And when using the trading warehouses of another town's warehouse from the NPC, it has been added so it displays which town's warehouse it is. Then we have a small system change. The description of the blue battlefield has been added to content related to the participation in occupied areas and node wars. And then we go into fixes and changes already. They fixed an issue where certain special actions were displayed after wearing the Venesil dress. They also fixed an issue where higher damage was applied when hitting a fortress with a cannon in certain situations. They fixed an issue where my character's equipment effects were being exposed in Solar's Spear replays. Also fixed an issue where names would overlap with the guild mark when the name was long in AOS replay. The issue where health did not appear to be refreshed properly when remaining time reached 0 seconds during the Adana Throne progression has been fixed. An issue where the portrait was not immediately updated when Shy Archer character awakening or opening skill initialization was performed in the integrated preset has been fixed. They fixed an issue where your maid would appear larger when summoned on a ship. That is actually kind of funny. They fixed an issue where ships could be placed on land through certain actions, so no longer ships on Tranon Underfoe's position, probably. They also fixed an issue where the quick slot could not be used when the shortcut key of the detachable quick slot was set to a shortcut key with a long name, such as mouse function key has been fixed. Oh, this is actually a bug I've been experiencing. That is really great. The issue where the text at the bottom was abbreviated when checking warehouses or trading warehouses with the font size set to maximum has been fixed. They fixed an issue where Agrod's Fever would be truncated when filled, so another text-based one. The issue where the horse would be shortened when the workload was high while crafting the peridot or the forest path wagon at the carriage workshop has been fixed. They fixed an issue where the buff would not be reset when the phase transitioned while holding the Heavenly Power buff during the battle of the Edania weekly raid boss Jordan. An issue where the gathering could be performed more times than specified on certain gatherable items in the capital city of Valencia has also been fixed. An issue where an error message was displayed when receiving Black Shrine rewards and items were not properly distributed has been fixed. And then we have 2 gamepad fixes. A key guide for the RS button has been corrected when performing alchemy or cooking in a residence, and they fixed an issue where the regular bag would open when attempting to retrieve a enhancement from the Find My Items. With that, we already go into the TLDR recap. Overall, UI changes obviously need to happen. Quests of Knowledge, nice that they're still fixing them. Small changes in the monsters. The Narcion visual update and almost a visual update, I definitely like it. I feel a lot of items just need a refresher, especially without these sort of square visuals. It does make it just look a little bit nicer and like an actual item. The Epheria Galleon being made more available, also a little bit nice. Class changes, obviously, if stuff's broken, it needs to get fixed. Finally, Blue Battlefield rewards. I do feel these are okay for what you're doing, 20 to 60 minutes. Overall, I don't think it's too crazy of a request. Overall, Blue Battlefield, I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully we'll manage to participate. I definitely am looking forward to it. Nothing else to say. I do hope that though that the Carracks and Galleons do enough, or have low enough damage against the fortress to really make the Guild Galley the only viable option to take it down. Otherwise, the time might run out. I doubt that's the case, though. I was hoping a little bit more for actual damage numbers, or damage reduction numbers, but sadly we didn't get it. We're just going to have to see it on release. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The money rewards do seem fine. The loot boxes, lots of grow coins, lots of C content. This is really for the guilds that like C content or have a few people that do life skilling. I mean, 75 mastery is nothing to scoff at. 40% life XP permanently as well. Great for fishing. Overall, can't complain about the buffs. The Justin Bartali's adventure log, very much of a surprise. I'm looking forward to it. Very curious about the story of this. I might even record the whole thing, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. A nice little surprise to just get a new adventure log. And with that, I wish you the absolute best of luck, and I'll hopefully see you around in video. And yeah, good luck on all your taps and drops, and I wish you the best.